Have you ever stopped to think about how some everyday things, seemingly simple objects just stick around forever, offering surprising usefulness and a design that just lasts? They're almost like these quiet rebels against the constant upgrade cycle. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into one of those exact objects, the Casio AE1200 World Time Watch. You probably know it by its nickname, the Casio Royale. So for this deep dive, we've pulled together a whole bunch of articles, our reviews, our own notes too. And our goal here is really to unpack why this, let's be honest, pretty humble digital watch has grabbed so much imagination and, well, so much wrist space globally. It's a really cool story.
Absolutely. And our mission for you listening in is to pull out the key bits of knowledge, the real insights about this, iconic watch. We'll dig into its surprising backstory, its really unique functions, and crucially, why it still feels so relevant now. Especially, I think, for those of us maybe trying to cut down on phone time and use more dedicated tools.
Okay, so let's kick things off with that fantastic nickname, the Casio Royale. It's one of those origin stories that feels, well, maybe a bit thin when you really look at it, right? But it's absolutely stuck. So what's the real story there? Why did that connection take hold?
It is true. Yeah, the link is a little tenuous, maybe, but it's definitely sticky. So the story goes back to the 1983 Bond film, Octopussy. In it, Roger Moore's Bond wears this Seiko watch, the G757 Sports 100.
Ah, right. And when you see that Seiko next to the Casio AE1200, I mean, the resemblance is really striking. You immediately get why people made that link.
Exactly. But the really clever bit, the thing that probably cemented the name, is the wordplay. You take Casio, and then you link it to Casino Royale, another famous Bond film. Now, okay, Casio and Casino aren't identical.
Hey, just a one-letter difference.
Just that one in, yeah. But it did a lot of, let's say, heavy lifting and making that nickname popular. It just sort of rolls off the tongue, makes it super memorable. And when we look at its actual history, the AE1200's roots go back further than you might think, almost 40 years, actually. Its predecessors were watches like the Casio Twin Graph series, the AE20 and AE200. What was cool about those is they had this split LCD screen, part analog style, part digital. That was quite innovative back then.
Right, you can see the DNA carrying through. And then building on that, in '87, there was the W50U, which had its own kind of world map display. So Casio was clearly playing with these ideas, refining the concept, which eventually led up to 2012, and that's when the AE1200 we know finally launched. And it took off pretty fast, didn't it? It became a really beloved digital watch. Which brings us nicely to the watch itself, its physical design. So the case on this Casio Royale is kind of rectangular, yeah. It measures 39.5 millimeters wide, 12.5 thick, and about 45 millimeters lug to lug. And what's pretty impressive for a watch at this price is it has 100 meters of water resistance. That's honestly kind of amazing. It's like getting top-tier safety features on a basic car model, totally unexpected, huge plus. And even with those dimensions, it actually wears closer to a true 40 millimeter on the wrist. That slightly rectangular shape isn't just for looks, though. It feels deliberate, like it gives this perfect wider canvas for all the information the watch packs in, without feeling huge. It's smart design, form-supporting function.
So how does that stack up against, say, the classic F91W? Lots of people know that one. It's much smaller, right? Only 35.2 millimeter wide, 8.5 millimeter thick.
Tiny in comparison.
Yeah, tiny. And there's just a huge functional gap between them. They're really for different things. Now, the AE1200 case, it might feel a bit chunky to some, maybe, but it's made of resin, basically plastic, and so is the strap, which makes it incredibly light. Comes in at just 39 grams. And it has an 18 millimeter lug width. The lugs are those little bits where the strap connects. 18 millimeters, super common, which means, it's really popular for swapping out the strap if you want something different. Loads of aftermarket options.
Okay, so that's the outside. But what really makes this thing tick, what gives it all that capability, is what's inside. Let's get into the brains of it, this display and that powerful module. The display itself apparently draws inspiration from old instrument panels, like from the 80s and those classic digital watches. And inside, it's running the 3299 module. And get this, it powers a 10-year battery life.
10 years.
Seriously, a decade of power, packing all that functionality into something so, cheap.
It's pretty remarkable how much info is shown so clearly. That wide lower screen, that just shows your home time, the day, the date. Nice and simple. Then you've got the mode button on the left. You press that, and it cycles through all its features. There's the signature world time, obviously, with that cool little world map on the upper left. It shows you which of the 31 time zones you're looking at.
Along with city codes.
Right, 48 city codes plus UTC. That's coordinated universal time, the sort of baseline global time. Then you get 5 alarms, daily or one-off, an hourly chime. A countdown timer goes from 1 second up to 24 hours in tenth of a second steps. And a stopwatch, 1100th of a second accuracy, does elapsed time, split times, first and second place times, plus your standard calendar stuff, adjust for month length, leap years, all that. It really does cover the bases.
You know, one feature that really stood out to me, and I think listeners will find this super useful, is that you can quickly cycle through 4 preset time zones. Your home time plus 3 others. You don't even have to go into the main world time mode to do it. Was that something that jumped out in your research as like a key practical thing? I also just really like that little round screen on the upper left. Gives you analog time for home, plus the seconds ticking away. Oh, and of course the light button on the upper right gives you a backlight for the main display when you need it. It's decent enough.
Yeah, that quick access time zone thing is definitely a highlight. It makes it more than just a display. It's a genuinely practical tool if you're juggling different zones regularly. And yeah, regarding performance, its accuracy is pretty standard for quartz, plus or minus 30 seconds a month. Respectable. But what's maybe even more compelling is why this watch keeps sticking around, why it endures now. It taps right into that that growing desire lots of us have to rely less on our smartphones, maybe cut down screen time. If you're someone who genuinely needs to track several time zones daily, this gives you a dedicated, glanceable solution. Keeps you off your phone.
Absolutely. And besides being useful, it just has this undeniable cool factor, doesn't it? This unique look. And then there's the price. Famously, less than a 3-pack of Lululemon socks. I do wonder, though, for some people, maybe that digital look feels a bit dated, retro, maybe. What's your take on that? Is it timeless or just vintage, especially with all the sleek smartwatches out there now?
That's a good question. I think it leans into the retro vibe, but somehow pulls it off without feeling just dated. It has character.
And that low cost, it's not just about being cheap, is it? It feels like a statement against, constant consumerism. You get serious utility without the huge price tag. It lets you invest in value that lasts, not just the latest trend. A real quiet rebel, like we said at the start. Okay, so say you're sold on the Casio Royale. You might then wonder, what are the options? There are actually quite a few versions, mostly changing up the strap and the case color accents. You've got the standard models with the resin strap, usually around, $30? Often in classic black, or there's one with a tan screen and a green map, which looks pretty cool. Then for a different feel, there are fabric strap versions, maybe around $43, like a green on black one. There's even a leather strap option, a bit more, maybe $50. And then, of course, the really popular steel bracelet models, also around $43.
Yeah.
Gives you that classic black and gray metal look. So, yeah, lots of choice, makes it really accessible.
Right. And speaking of options, what else is in this sort of Casio neighborhood that people might look at or confuse with this one? Well, first there's the WS1600. Now, this one actually uses the same case as the AE1200, which is interesting, but
Yeah.
the function is totally different. It's really more of a sports timer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dedicated stopwatch displays. So it's pretty niche, maybe for like referees or track coaches.
Yeah.
But interestingly, same price, about $30.
Yeah.
Then you've got the A500W,
Yeah.
another world timer from Casio, but with some key differences. It's smaller, 34 millimeter wide, but 9.6 millimeters thick. It does world time, yes, but it's less water resistant, doesn't have that cool digital analog display combo, and this is a big one, only a 3-year battery life compared to 10 on the AE1200.
Wow. Big difference.
Yeah. And it's actually a bit more expensive, around $60. Plus, it seems like it might not even be sold in North America anymore, potentially.
Maybe because of a newer option, the Casio LF30.
Could be.
That one's basically the A500, I think, but with more modern looks. Comes in black, blue, green, beige resin cases, matching straps. They look pretty neat. Also around that $30 mark, but word of warning if you're after one. They seem to sell out really fast.
So, yeah, to kind of wrap things up on the AE1200, the Casio Royale, it's just undeniably one of the most iconic digital watches ever made, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that world time function, it's funny. It feels like it's only become more useful over time,
Yeah.
precisely because so many of us are trying to use our phones less.
Yeah.
That practicality combined with the, frankly, incredible price, it really sets it apart from smartwatches or, super expensive mechanical world timers. We definitely need more watches like the Casio AE1200.
So what's the takeaway for you listening to all this? In this age where we're just drowning in information, smart devices buzzing at us all the time, what can this humble, super affordable Casio AE1200 teach you? Maybe about seeking out things with precise, dedicated utility, finding satisfaction in tools that do one job really well. What other simple, inexpensive things might give you that same kind of outsized value and satisfaction, maybe help you reclaim a little bit of focus in your life? Something to think about.